Welcome back. In the previous video, we discussed the concepts related to the software process improvement. In this video, we will see some important terms that are frequently used during the discussions on the software process improvement. So the first term that we see here is software process. A software process is in fact a goal-oriented activity in the context of engineering style software development. The typical characteristics of software processes are the first one, that is these processes, they are enacted in the real world, that is they are performed in the real world. Then they usually transform one or more input product into one or more output product by consuming further products. Then the processes can be performed by humans, and this is called as enactment, or they can be performed by machines, which is called as execution, or the processes can be performed by both the humans and machines. Then the last one, that is, they can be refined by sub-processes, each of which can also be refined further. Then the next terminology is a project. Uh, a project is actually a unique endeavor which is limited by a start date and an end date, and in fact should achieve a goal. It should be noted that permanent or routine activities, they are not considered as projects. So a project is actually an activity or set of activities that have their start and end date. Then the next term is project phase. A project phase is a collection of logically separated project activities, usually resulting in the completion of a major deliverable or the achievement of a major milestone. Uh, Typical characteristics of the project phase include the first one is that the phases are mainly completed sequentially, but can also overlap in some projects situations, and in fact phases can be subdivided into subphases. Then unlike a process, uh, a phase is always defined by a start date and an end date. If this period is finished, then the phase is finished. Typical examples of phases are, for example, the elaboration phase, the construction phase, or the transition phase. So phases are usually used when looking at a project from management's perspective. Then a model. A model is an abstract and simplifying representation of an object or phenomena of the real world. Typical characteristics of a model are uh, the first one, that they describe only those aspects of the object or phenomena that are believed to be relevant for the understanding and intended usage of the model. Then they encapsulate experience and allow for an explicit representation of the experience. The third one is they can be created for different purposes, such as planning and control of the processes, or predictions about the outcomes, or any other aspects, for example prediction about estimated cost of the project, or the total time that will be consumed by the project, etc. Then they have their own life cycle. That is, they can be specified, built, implemented, analyzed, used, assessed, evolved, or even in some cases they may be rejected. Well, the next term is software process model. A software process model is, in fact, a model of software process that can be used as a means for solving a particular problem. Process models can be represented by using different notations, for example, graphical notations, natural language, or machine readable notations. The main elements of the process model include the first one is a description of identifiable activities or a group of activities. Then a description of the product flow, that is inputs and output products of different activities. Then a description of the control flow between processes, that is the enactment or execution sequence. Then the next element is a description of the refinements. That is the definition of a hierarchy of a process. And the last element is a description of the relationships to techniques, methods, tools, and rules. That is the techniques and methods for process improvement and implementation. Similarly, the tools that are needed for supporting the process improvement, and the rules. And in fact, the rules include the human entities who will be responsible for performing certain activities. Then the next term is process description. While a process is a means for doing a job, a process description is a specification of how that job is to be done actually. Then the next term is atomic process. An atomic process is a process actually that does not allow further structuring in the form of sub-processes. That is, this process cannot be subdivided into more sub-processes. Then process enactment. The performance of process steps undertaken to reach a given goal, that is, the process performer, that is, the process agent who actually performs the process, can be a human or a machine. So, in case of a machine, the term process execution is usually used. Then the next terminology is process agent. A process agent is, in fact, a person or machine that enacts or executes the process in order to reach the process goals. Then, process owner. A process owner is a human or organizational entity that sets the goals of a process and is responsible for their achievement. A process owner actually provides the resources for the enactment or execution of the process and is mainly responsible for providing the appropriate process definitions. Then, what is a role? A role is a set of processes belonging together that are assigned to one or several agents. A role combines the functional responsibility for the enactment of a process. So, examples of technical development roles are like a requirements engineer. Similarly, designer means that designer of the architecture, or like we call as architects as well. Similarly, like data or algorithm designers, programmers, inspectors, similarly system integration engineers and testers. So all these rules are particular to software processes. Similarly, there are some uh, organizational and management related roles, and these roles include, for example, project planners, project managers, similarly product managers, and quality assurance managers, etc. That's all about our discussion on terminologies related to the software process management and improvement. In the next video of this lecture, we will revise the concepts of capability maturity model and capability maturity model integration. The materials in this video are based on the book titled Software Process Definition and Management. For more details, you can consult this book. Thank you.